welcome back to another video from Auto Social UK. Today I'm back in familiar territory with another compact SUV. Now many of you may or may not know that I used to work at Volkswagen, and with that I'm a bit of a Volkswagen fanatic. In fact, I've never been a huge fan of Fords, but the Ford Puma has won What Car's Car of the Year for 2020, and it's both quicker and more practical than my favourite car, the Volkswagen T-roc. So today I'm going to see if the Ford Puma can win me over like it has the rest of the nation. Before we get into it, I want to start by saying a massive thank you to everybody that has subscribed to my channel over the recent weeks. It really means so much that you want to be part of my journey. And at the end of this video, I'm going to be announcing the winner of my Winner Track Day competition. So make sure you watch to the end to see if you've won. If you're not already subscribed, then please do that now. You may think I don't remember the Ford Puma the first time round in the 90s, but I do. In fact, my mum owned the Vauxhall Tigra, which was the Puma's competitor, and God, what an awful car that was. But that was all the rage in the 90s. It was all about the sporty coupes with their stiff suspension and their sporty styling. Jump to 2020, and now the small SUV is all the rage, and I can see why. I might not have a family to take into consideration, but I like the idea of being able to comfortably sit 5 adults with loads of luggage space and to sit higher off of the road as well. There's a reason why the SUV is the fastest growing market. For price and size, the Ford Puma's main competitors are the Volkswagen T-roc and T-Cross, the Skoda Kamiaq and the Nissan Juke. The Ford Puma is actually based on the Ford Fiesta, but it sits 30mm higher. It's also longer, wider, taller, and there's more space between the front and the rear wheels. This new generation Ford Puma may be a lot larger than its predecessor, but they have continued with some of the previous style elements, and that includes these bubble style headlights. Ford have said they're specifically trying to stay away from the light bar effect boxy styling that other manufacturers are going for. Let me know what you prefer, the bubble light looks of the Ford Puma or the boxy light bar style effect of the Volkswagen T-roc and T-Cross. There's no denying that the Ford Puma looks striking, especially in this first edition ST Line Plus model that I have here, which gets extra sporty styling, including 19-inch alloy wheels and a sporty rear spoiler. Now, where the Ford Puma really plays its trump card is in the boot. So this is where the Ford Puma gets really clever, and it's in the boot. Inside here is what Ford call their mega box, and this is pretty interesting. You lift up the boot floor, come on, and inside here you've got some extra luggage space. This makes the Ford Puma far more practical when carrying tall items, as it means the items over 1 metre tall can be stood inside, like golf clubs. It adds an extra 80 litres of space to an already competitive boot. This extra space is also amazing for carrying muddy items like wellies or potted plants, and the reason why it's so great is because below this inner liner there's a plug. This means the Megabox can be rinsed out when things get grubby. The interior seating position is 30mm higher than in the Fiesta. The seats differ between style and comfort depending on which trim level you opt for. In the titanium you get massage seats, and in the ST Line X you get leather seats with contrasting stitching. Inside the rear of the Ford Puma, it's not the biggest in its class, but there is plenty space enough for 3 small children. And if you go for the lower trim options, you also have removable cases on the seats, which make it brilliant for when you want to wash them. Depending on what trim level you go for, in the entry-level titanium, you get a wood effect styling around the dash. Here in the sportier models, you get this carbon fibre, which looks brilliant. The car does come with a great standard Sat-Nav that you can use. But if you prefer to use your phone, it does come with Apple and Android CarPlay from the bottom level trims.
This means you have an option to use a whole multitude of apps, including music and navigation. This also allows the option to use your phone's voice activation system through the car, making finding destinations super simple. This is now available on most compact SUVs, but is sometimes trim dependent. My only hope is that they eventually make it wireless like they have in the T-roc. Something that I love that is wireless and not standard on the T-roc is the charge-in, which you'll be happy to know comfortably fits my iPhone Plus. The ST Line Plus gets a few nice details, including a leather-wrapped handbrake and chrome gear stick. You also get a flat-bottom steering wheel, rather nice digital dash and a Bang & Olufsen sound system.
Ford have always been renowned for getting loads of power out of really small engines. And the Ford Puma takes that to another extreme. They've managed to get 153 brake horsepower out of a 1 litre engine. That's the same amount as in some brands' 1.5, 1.6 litre petrol engines. In fact, it's got 38 more brake horsepower than in the Volkswagen T-roc, and I used to rave about that engine. Now, one of the ways that Ford was able to get so much power out of such a small engine was by using mild hybrid technology. Now, how that works is every time I brake, it slowly charges a little battery in the back of the car. Then, when I need a little bit of extra power, it complements the engine, giving me an extra 50 Newton meters of torque. Another way that hybrid technology works is through a start-stop. Now, we've all got used to a start-stop, but in the Ford Puma it's really impressive. It actually doesn't engage until you put the car into gear and pull away, and it's almost unnoticeable, completely different from the diesel start-stops. It seems strange that you can't yet get it in an automatic. You'll have to wait another couple of months for that, but Ford's 6-speed manual gearbox is really well paired to the rest of the car. The brakes are progressive and the clutch is light and easy to use. The steering is really responsive and overall it's a great drive, just like its younger brother, the Ford Fiesta. That being said, it's not actually the most comfortable car in its class. In fact, it's a little bit of a hard ride. It does soak up bumps well enough though, and you're going to expect it when you're sitting 6mm higher than in the Ford Fiesta. So how does the Ford Puma shape up on a PCP? Well, it has really competitive monthly payment and low APR rate of 1.9%. And if you wanted the first edition ST Line Plus, then you're looking at about a £3,000 deposit and £301 a month. If you wanted to go for a more basic model, then you'll be looking at the same kind of monthly budget, but with little to no deposit, which with all the spec you get, is pretty good.
There's no denying that the Ford Puma is a strong newcomer in an ever-growing SUV class. It ticks loads of boxes and gets gold stars for how much fun it is to drive and that mega box in the boot. Thank you so much for John Grose in Ipswich for lending me the Ford Puma for the day. If you wanted any more information on the Ford Puma, then I'll pop all of their details below. Why not book in for a test drive and see how much fun it is for yourself?
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pick a winner of my track day competition. As stated in the terms and conditions, if this person is outside of the UK, then I'm going to do a cash equivalent of the price. I've got my subscribers, all the list up here. I found no way of doing this really easily, but I've brought everyone up and I'm just going to flick through a couple of pages and then literally pick one at random. So I'm just going to start by flicking through a couple of pages. And then I'm literally, from this page, I can't read them from here, I'm just going to pick one at random. I'm going to go for this purple one here. So C_Nistar. And this is the winner of my competition. So if you can, I'll try and tag you in it. But if you can get in contact, then I'll give you the details of the competition. Thank you so much.
If you was going to choose a compact SUV, which one would you go for? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to give this a big thumbs up And if you wanted to follow my YouTube channel, then you can do that here. Or if you wanted to see me review the Volkswagen T-Cross, the Ford Puma's rival, then you can do that here. Thank you so much. See you later.